Hello everyone, today I'll be doing a solo flawless master Presage with Titan and with the Forerunner. For my subclass, I'll be using the Stasis Titan, the Behemoth. Here are the mods and fragments I'll be using in this video. For my kinetic, I'll be using the Forerunner with the catalyst called the Rock. Next, I'll be using the Coronage Fusion with Volpo Weapon. For my heavy, I'll be using the Sapphire Stasis with Cold Steel. For my helmet, I'll be using the 10 Recovery, Sword Ammo Finder, Ashes to Assets with Shield Break Charge. For my exotic and arms, I'll be using the Synthoceps with the Unstoppable Sidearm, Disrupting Blade with Charge Up. For the chest armor, I'll be using Concussive Dampener, Solo Damage Resistance, 10th Recovery with Taken Charge. For the leg armor, I'll be using 10th Recovery, Enhanced Sword Scavenger, Loosen Blade, and an arc mod I am forced to use so the sword can charge fast. Last, I'll be using Double Bomber with Passive Guard. So in this video, I decided to use once again the famous Forerunner with the Catalyst, where it can actually one-shot you in a GM or sometimes on this perfect master Presage activity. Not only that, why not use the Behemoth Stasis for the Titan just to make things much more entertaining and definitely have a lot of things to say. So you guys know the puzzle where you need to go left side, right, punch and go front and right side and walk your way to the left side. Now just to let everyone know, the subclass and the exotic is not the meta, not the best build, but as you guys know me, I'll make it work. And overall, it was a decent run, not so bad, but if I was using the Titan bubble and a better exotic, this run would have been much more faster, way faster than right now what I'm doing. So as you guys know, you must shoot down to get the buff of the Agor Link, or in other words, to be temporarily a ghost to go through these mystical walls or ghost walls. Now I am using Passive Guard with the famous Stasis sword with the Sapphire. Sapphire is actually a very unique weapon. And there are these mini scripts or reference from Gears of War 2, the tickers, where you can jump over them and they are completely harmless as a fly, especially if you jump over them. Wouldn't recommend to use a sword and to destroy them because they can two-shot you and it will lead to a death. As you guys know, this activity, the Master Presage or the normal Presage, it will be sunset. Highly recommend to do your solo flawless to get the tram for the normal version. Master, there is really no requirement unless getting the emblem, which I forgot to call for a fire team, or solo, doesn't really matter. Would highly recommend just to go with a fire team and just, you know, have your fire team do all the minion work, and then you'll get the emblem, especially if you don't die. Or you can just go for the solo flawless for the master version, but like I said, it doesn't require to get the solo tram, mainly is for the normal version. So you guys know here we are activating the switches, destroying the fuse. I throw the dust grenade just to freeze the scribs so they won't explode on me, you know, one-shot me, just like those mini scribs on GM, on Hall Layer, excuse me. And now we're gonna go probably the most unique activity where we need to destroy the fuse, which is extremely random, by the way. It's always random, and luckily I had one in front of me. Thank you, Bungie, for that. and you can just jump over them. They will explode, so highly recommend to jump over them and let them just explode. Now at the same time, I was looking at where are these fuses, and you can just one-shot them with a shotgun or with a fusion. And yes, I am using double special since Forerunner is a special weapon, and in the future I'm using special as well. Why not? Because using primary weapon, especially for this one, it could be a little slow and we are on time, so I do want to go a little fast, especially with the exotic I'm using that isn't the best for this run. Any weapon or using just double special would just make this run quicker and less stressful for me. And like I said, I want to make it work. So there are 2 snipers I quickly took down because they can 2-shot or 1-shot you, since I don't have sniper resistance or void resistance. There will be a couple ads I will push you where you can just throw the frag, which I am using right now, and you can use your Forerunner to destroy them and then reload, which it will take away 6 ammo to throw the frag from Halo basically. But just to let you know and let everyone know, the frag can actually kill you, unfortunately, which I'm not a big fan of, and I found out accidentally when I was doing DPS at the final boss, and then it one-shot me when I wasn't on full health. Isn't that amazing? Yes, the catalyst can actually kill you. The frag can actually destroy you and ruin your solo flawless run. Imagine on a GM, that's even much worse. So basically, you will have to wait for the frag to explode, or if you just push, let's just say for a Night Stalker, and try to do DPS with a sword, and then the frag explodes on you, you can one-shot you. Or heavily damage you, depending what activity you are in. Now, this is probably my favorite area. I really like to go very aggressive in this, where you need to take down the ogres, void raiders, snipers, scorn captains. There are different ways to do this. Since we don't have any void, I am spamming the fusion just to break the shield and then switch to my Forerunner, since mainly we are using that weapon. And I'm trying my best to make it work for me. Now we'll throw the frag. It did hit a couple of ads, but not entirely, unfortunately. And then I just spam the fusion, and now I am going to destroy this ogre and use its body to shield me from the ogre from the left side, so it won't kill me instantly. At the same time, I am using the dust grenade so I can freeze and use my finisher, but unfortunately it was a bit too late, so I decided to just take him down with the stasis sword. Go around here, go on the left side, ignore the arc scorn as possible, and then use my super. And since we are using simple steps, excuse my language, then I'll be using the R2 and the melee to get massive damage, and of course use my finisher and then get the hell out of there. Yep, this is basically how I do it. And of course there are safe ways, but then again, this is the master version. I just like to go all out, especially we have a timer and it makes me extremely nervous. You know, let's be honest, it makes everyone nervous, which is why I highly recommend just to go for the normal version, especially getting the solo trap, etc. It's just normal, it is not master. For the emblem, it can be for the fire team to just not, you know, die. But like I said, solo master is not required. But as you guys know here, Forerunner is the exotic. I just want to try it out. I would think this weapon would be good if it was anti-barrier sidearm. Then this weapon will be the mini Ariane as well. I would say it would be a very interesting, useful weapon. Like I said in my previous video, it's an okay weapon, but if there was anti-barrier sidearm, then this weapon will be a mini meta. Mini. Especially the range is insane. So as you guys know here, I am clearing out a couple ads, trying to pick up this heavy, then this arc score and out of nowhere teleports. I wasn't paying attention, just try to melee me. You know, try to play the tag and you're it back to orbit. You know, like in GM, remember Devil's Lair? Not today. You know, I'm on Titan. We're going all out for the Titan subclass. So for the next puzzle, it's basically the same, but there will be a couple ads, and there are a couple that I ignore. I didn't really clear all the void shields, or maybe I did. I don't remember, to be honest. But there is a short puzzle where you do need to activate the switches, then become the ghost to go through the ghost walls. And as you guys know, there's a switch here. You could just melee it, you know, quickly melee for the Titan, and then unfortunately for the Hunter you will have to knife it and it will be a teeny slow. I would recommend just use a shotgun since you can one shot and become the ghost to go through the walls. Now there are going to be mini scribs and I just take them down with the fusion and switch to the Forerunner since we are mainly using that weapon. You can use the finisher, it won't really, the scripts won't explode on you just like the explosive hives. Now I am destroying the fuse and then going to switch this on. I could go back, but then again, I don't have my melee. I mean, I could have done it, but you know, have to go as fast as I can-ish and then quickly melee this to get the buff to go through the ghost walls, and of course, you know, we can go to the next section, which this one could be easily tricky. Well, a quick death if you're not knowing what to do. So first things first, there will be these scribs that will run towards you. You can spam the fusion, which is why I just prefer double special since we are using the Forerunner. And the Forerunner is not really good for close combat. Let's just be perfectly honest. And remember the frag? Yeah, it could one-shot you sometimes if it bounces back to you. And it has happened to me many times, and it's not fun, you know, with the catalyst. Isn't that just fantastic? The frag can actually kill you if it bounces back to you. Especially on a GM, it's something that I will not rely on, and I don't like it. You know, I'm surprised no one's really talking about it, but yeah, that's horrible. The frag shouldn't one-shot you, especially on if you are low on power level, or let's just say GM. It could one-shot you. You could be doing DPS. And that's not fair. I mean, it's so grindy to get even the catalyst, right? Why is it destroying you? That's a big punishment. Alright, I won't go so much of a rant for that because then I'll wind up talking about it for 8 minutes and we don't want that. So I'm gonna punch this amazing buff where we can go through the ghost walls, the Egor, excuse me. And we're gonna deal with 2 of the ogres that will shoot electric and the explosive scribs, which we can spam our fusion and then switch to our Forerunner, which I only have about 8 ammo. Unfortunately, couldn't really use it so much, so I actually had to hide a bit and then just use my sword. Yeah, so yeah, you'll notice I run out of a lot of Forerunner, and the reason why is because I'm trying to use the frag, the grenade, which costs 6, by the way. Costs around 6 ammo when you hold the square button for the PlayStation. And it's okay. I mean, it's not too bad unless I was using special finisher, but I kind of need my super for the boss, you know? So I can't really use my special finisher and master, you know, Presage. And plus we're on a master version, so I can't really, you know, mess around and pull back a bit, unfortunately. So the raider decided to just say, you know what, screw this and kill itself because it got bungeed. And then we're gonna go back here and just punch the Agor, punch the glowy, amazing buff where we can go through walls. If only we can do that to the boss. That would be amazing. Just go through there, just jump through these walls instead of going these platforms. But as you guys know here, you can just use one and then skip all this. But I'm not gonna risk that because that would be a little bit too risky, which we do want to go a little semi-safe and a little semi-risky. Now I'm going to use the banner to get my ammo and just use my sidearm. Now finally, I'm actually gonna go to the boss fight and really just show how amazing the Forerunner is. First things first, have to use the stasis. I thought I did all the ammo, but I didn't. So just a bit of, I would say, 20,000 damage. Then the boss can despawn. I can get rid of these scorn captains or corrupted captains. And I like to use the fusion to break the shield and then switch to my kinetic Forerunner to use DPS or 2 DPS the scorn captain so I can get rid of it. Now be aware of the void grenades, which we have seen them many times on Hollow Layer, which are white, which they are quite deadly. But for this one, not really. They're not a big threat unless you just stand still for 5 seconds, and yes, but it's not like less than a second like a GM where it can destroy you even if you're looking at it. But for this one, it doesn't matter. Even if you look at it, you won't get destroyed. Now we are using the Synthoceps, which we can melee, and the range is massive, especially when you have the enhancements. Especially with the boss, you could do much more damage. I forgot the percent, but you guys know how much is it. Quite a lot. And with the buff for the stasis Behemoth, it's even better. Why not use the stasis? I mean, they did buff the subclass for the Titan, so we're definitely going to check it out right now. So there are 3 switches as you saw there. We must activate them and then it'll cool down the basement or the bottom floor. And unfortunately, there are times where you will get bungeed or the boss will teleport at you. So luckily, I didn't get teleported for the first phase. Well, the boss didn't teleport at the first phase. So I decided to use my super and then just freeze it and then punch it, pull back, since I'm on threat health and I already did enough damage for the second phase. Now I am spamming all these crystals so they can freeze, and I could just use my fusion and then deal with the snipers, which we highly recommend to take them down because like I said, they can one-shot you or two-shot you, and it's not the best idea to leave them alive. So definitely be very careful with them. And once you clear down all these ads, then you could just punch them and make sure you have charge of light so you can get the loosened blade. Now I'm just trying my best to use the Forerunner. Now another thing I despise using the frag on stasis is if you pick up the diamond lance, right, then your frag disappears, it's gone. Why? So yeah, that's a bad thing of using the stasis with the Forerunner, and that's highly unfair, or maybe it's a bug. It shouldn't do that. I want to pick up my diamond lance and then throw a frag. Nope, can't do that because Bungie's like, nope, lance is too powerful, you can't do that. So for the second phase, we're gonna be dealing with the boss, and hopefully I won't get bungeed. And I got bungeed, unfortunately, and I had to throw the dusk and then do as much DPS as I can and pull back. If you are in red health, you must pull back. Pull back because we don't want the boss to slam you to the wall, then you start all over again. Or you could continue if you're not really planning for the solo flawless. And it's just not going to be pretty. Now just to remember, I do not have any arc. I don't have any arc weapons. So I had to rely on the desk grenade to freeze them and then be on my way to do DPS at the boss. So now I am going to go up and then just destroy a couple of these stalkers, which they love to throw and spam void grenades. And I saw a diamond lands and I'm like, wow, there again. I got bungeed again and the boss teleported the second time. I could not believe it. It's like Bungie doesn't like me or support console players, you know? I'm just joking. So, anyway, I'm going to break the shield, right? And then definitely going to take down all these stalkers with the linear fusion and the Forerunner. And hopefully I can use the Forerunner, but I am at 0 ammo, so I couldn't use it, unfortunately. Since I was spamming with the frag, and it did quite a bit decent amount of damage, can go 40k. I would say 30k in here, I don't quite remember. But because I was spamming it so much, you know, trying to use the weapon, I ran out, and I ran out of fusion. So I had to spam the stasis sword just to get a couple of Forerunner ammo. And then quickly freeze the two snipers because they can one-shot me if both of them shoot me at the same time. So I was quite happy I got them. You know, still trying to get used to the TV, by the way. You know, it's, you know, like 27-inch TV versus the 50-inch TV makes a big difference. So anyway, decided to use the Forerunner, reload for the frag. Remember the frag, guys? Yeah, that frag. The one could one-shot you if you're not careful, or could do some damage to you even from far distance. It's just fantastic. You know what's the best part? The frag actually did damage me in this video, and I was like, no man, that's not cool. So yeah, unfortunately the frag didn't feel like destroying the boss. It tried to destroy me. You know, if I didn't guard, it could have taken half of my health. So I decided to use my sword, right? And then use my super. So I was using my super and then quickly ran away from my life. And then the crystals destroyed the boss. I baited it accidentally, by the way. And I finally beat the boss, and then we're just gonna go and claim the exotic scout exotic weapon. So yeah, this is probably the first time where I didn't kill the boss and the stasis crystals actually destroyed the boss for me. So yeah, that's interesting. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.